Hello everyone and welcome to From the Heart Friday with me, Jessica Brigden of Just Be Creative Cardiology. And I've got a special project for you today. David and I will be heading off on Stampin' Up's Mexico incentive trip. I will be in Mexico while you are watching this video, but the Stampin' Up portion of the trip starts on Monday the 29th. And so I'm giving you a sneak peek here of the card swaps that I have designed because it wouldn't be a Stampin' Up event without card swaps, right? So I'm using something inspired by Mexico. So I've got a fun card using a brand new bundle that you'll find in your new annual catalog. You'll find it on page 57, and it is called the Layers of Beauty Bundle. It includes a stamp set. There is also a set of coordinating dies, and third part of it are the decorative masks, the Layers of Beauty decorative masks, and it's a set of 5 masks that does layers of flowers and leaves. So it's a really awesome bundle. It's just $56.50 for the whole works, the stamps, dies, and the masks. And I've got a huge mess on my desk here, and I can't wait to show you how this all comes together. So my card base here is some Berry Burst cardstock. That was the initial color that I had picked out. And it just so happens that it coordinates perfectly with Stampin' Up's brand new in colors. So we've got some Berry Burst here, and then I'll be adding on a layer of basic black. So of course our regular card base, our Berry Burst, is 5.5 by 8.5, folded and scored there at 4 1/4. And then our layer of basic black here is 4 by 5 1/4, all right, because I wanted some contrast. So nice bright colors here, okay. And then we have a layer of basic white. Again, I want a 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 3 3, well, it's supposed to be a 1/4 inch smaller. 3 3/4 by 5. This layer must be the 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of my card here. All right, get my layers straight. All right, so that's quick and easy, ready to go. So what we are going to do next, I need to cut some more white cardstock, is show you how these masks work. Okay, so that is what we've got, our basic white cardstock, and then we will be using all of these fun masks here. So I'm going to trim my white cardstock down to 3 3/4 by 5. That is the size that I need for this. And amazingly, I actually have my card pretty much put together here before I left. Just a handful left to make. So, okay, so what I'm using, I've got my Stamparatus. I realize that we no longer carry this item, but I love it, and it comes in really handy for a project like this. So I'm going to clip just the top right corner of my basic white cardstock down, and I'm going to start, well, we're going to start by stamping the gorgeous Layers of Beauty rose bouquet here onto our cardstock. So let me make sure that we've got this all lined up here, nice and square. And again, doing that top right corner. And I've got, this is a large background stamp, so that works out great here for the Stamparatus or stamp positioning tool. You can get a visual of how it lines up on your cardstock. And I've also used for my greeting, I've put that here on my Stamparatus as well. And I am using the Spanish version of the Unbounded Love stamp set, which I'm not sure where it went at the moment. But this is called Amor Sin Límite, and I am using Felicidades, so congratulations, to go here on our card. So I thought that was a fun combination. So I'm going to use some Tuxedo Black Memento ink for that. Now you could use StazOn. There's not really a reason I'm using this. It's just that with photopolymer stamps, the Tuxedo Black Memento works better. It's easier to clean. As you can tell, I did do a little bit of yellow staining on here, but at least it works. It seems to work pretty well, whereas the StazOn ink is a solvent, and that's really, it's not good for your photopolymer stamps over time. So I recommend the Tuxedo Black Memento for this. So I've got that all inked up on there, and then you want to make sure we've got a good firm pressure all around. I want all of that beautiful floral and leaf detail, as well as my sentiment, to transfer. All right. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Okay, so we're going to keep that there in position. And now I'm going to show you. So it has 5 decorative masks that does the different layers, hence why it's called Layers of Beauty. And a key is each of the masks has a little notch in the top right corner, or excuse me, top left, depending on which way you're looking at it. So in the top corner, and they are going to match, and it even has little numbers. Whoop. The white on white is not showing up real well there, but there is a number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and so on. So that does help you. And we're going to position this over top of our stamped image until we get everything lined up just so. And then again, move your magnet so that you've got something to hold it in position there. Okay, so we're going to start with our lightest color, our base layer, and that is going to be the brand new, well, or newly returning Pretty in Pink. Was a Subtles core color years ago. Like, we're talking way back to 1997. Okay, and so I joined Stampin' Up in 2006, and it was a core Subtles color then. And then several years ago, it retired, and Stampin' Up has brought it back. So we're using our blending brushes, and I'm using the small. You could use the large, the small, it really doesn't matter which size. I would probably have used a larger one for this, but I already had all my blending brushes with different colors. So this is what I had, a new small brush, so that's what I'm using for the Pretty in Pink. So we do our base layer there, and then we've got some other flowers. So I'm going to use some peach pie for our daisies, and this one I am specifically using a small brush for, because I want to get into those little flowers without going over my rose. Okay, so I just wanted to be able to highlight just those smaller flowers there and have a little bit more control on that. Okay, and now we've got some little flower buds there. So I'm using my Berry Burst and just a sponge dauber for this one, and then just do a little bit of ink right over those flowers. Okay, so that is it for layer number 1. So we've removed that, and then we pull in layer number 2, and this is going to fit right over top. All right, and I found, for me, the easiest way to make sure you've got it positioned. All right, not only should you not see any white, but you can tell by the itty bitty little flower centers. Okay, so line that up and then put your magnet in place. Again, we're gonna go over these with the same colors just to add a little more depth to them. Okay, then I've still got some ink here, little peach pie on my daisies. Okay, so you know the more ink you apply, the darker it gets. So that's why we start light for the first layer. And now with the second layer, again, we're gonna come over with some more Pretty in Pink. You can see it pick up. I do re-ink some in between. If it tends to shift on you a little bit, just hold it in place. You could even use a little bit of masking tape or washi tape to do it, but I find it holds, sticks together pretty well. And check out just the dimension, the two-tone that you get with that already. And that was just with the second mask. So now we're gonna come in with number 3, and this is the even more detail. And again, these little holes are for the flower centers. So use those to get this in position. All right, just there we go. What do you guys think of my fancy nails? I finally took myself to the salon because you can't go on a beach trip without a mani-pedi, right? All right, so for our daisies, since we've been using some peach pie, I wanted to go again a little bit darker for the centers. So I'm coming in with some Calypso Coral, and again using a sponge dauber for that, and then just right there over those centers. Okay, and don't get your daubers mixed up. That's important. Okay, now instead of another layer of pretty pink, I'm gonna come in with that Berry Burst sponge dauber, and watch this. We're gonna go right over this detail in here. All right, just rub that all over. This is a great, I love that Stampin' Up! Has come out with these decorative masks. Not only is it new and trendy, check that out, so gorgeous. But for those of you that maybe shied away from two-step stamping, or stamping where you had line images and then coloring because you were afraid you couldn't get it lined up just so, this is a great project for that. So now we're going to come in with number 4 and do the leaves. Okay, and you might have to move that around just a little bit. So they are notched, and I'm not really using the notches because I'm trying to fit it here on my platform. For me, it's just as easy to look at this visually and see, all right, is it all filled in the right spot? So for this, we are using the new Shy Shamrock, a pretty bright green, and again going over lightly, and I am using a large blending brush for that because we've got a large area that we're covering. Okay, so just lightly for the first one. Okay, isn't that so pretty? And now our 4th mask, hidden under my pile here. Oh, along with my white that was already cut. Okay, again, make sure you're notched. So, and you can tell which way your mask is up because I've got lots of color on here. So when you're done, I've left mine nice and dirty because because I've been making so many cards. All right, so we want to go line this up over top of where we were. There we go. You know exactly when it fits into place because then you don't have any of the little white areas showing. There you go. All right, now we're gonna come over it again with our Shy Shamrock. This was supposed to be posted, so if you're watching this already, well, I guess you got a bonus sneak peek because I thought I scheduled this for Friday while I was gone. So, all right, well, good for you, Lori. All right, but check that out. That is with the 2nd layer, and you get all of that extra dimension on there. So awesome. All right, so then we're going to mount this onto our card base here. All right, so it's a pretty simple card layout, but we've got all of these layers of color. All right, so it makes it super beautiful. And then, of course, every card needs a little bit of bling. So I'm coming in with my Artistry, the Sequins Trio. And we've got some Berry Burst sequins on here. And I've used all my small ones, but I thought we'd add a little trio of sequins. This also works good if you end up with any little ink smudges. You can just put a sequin there. And there you have it. So that is my Mexican-inspired card swap for Stampin' Up's incentive trip using the new Layers of Beauty bundle, the decorative masks, the stamp set, and then of course you could always add in and die cut that for even more dimension. But there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Ordering for the new catalog begins on May 1st. Okay, I believe it's May 1st at 12:01 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 2:01 Eastern Time. And all of the new colors and new products will be available then. So if you enjoyed that, be sure to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and be sure to follow along on my social media accounts. Just be Creative Cardiology. That's Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And I will be, even my blog, hoping to share some photos of our trip with you. So thank you so much. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.